Hey everybody, Small G Gay. This is the planet Mars. Ray Bradbury died today, author of the Martian Chronicles. My little bird is chiming in, little Whittaker Chambers. Ray Bradbury reminds me a lot of Whittaker Chambers. He had a strong impact on me when I was young and impressionable. I was a huge fan of Martian Chronicles when I was a teenager. I only read a couple of his books, but his life inspired me greatly. And I can remember watching an interview with him on Merv Griffin. Steve Politic never understands what I'm talking about when I talk about Merv Griffin. Merv Griffin had a talk show in the 70s. And where I lived in rural Michigan, it was one of the few talk shows that we had. We had that and Mike Douglas and then later Donahue. But we didn't have a lot of television. We had two networks, and we had 4 channels and 2 networks. We had 2 ABCs and we had no ABC. We had 2 CBSs and 2 NBCs, and we didn't have ABC until later in the 70s. But in the late 60s, early 70s, we only had 2 networks, and that was our window on the world. And that was a lot, you know. I mean, we were in rural Michigan. When I say rural, I mean I didn't live in a town. I lived in a township. My parents still live there. And the town that was on our address wasn't the town that we actually lived in. That was just the nearest post office. And so our mail went to that town, and then they would take it out to us. And I grew up on a dirt road. My parents, to their credit, wanted us to live off the land, as free from society as possible. Very much the kind of growing up situation, the lifestyle that Whittaker Chambers lived and Ray Bradbury lived. Ray Bradbury grew up in Waukegan, Illinois. He was the family was poor. He and his brother shared a room, as did my brother and I. And he lived near Lake Michigan, and he had an authentic working class, real world childhood, like I did, wherein we were free to roam and play as we wanted. We were free to explore our worlds as we wanted. And we had free-thinking parents who encouraged us to look at everything and decide what we thought about everything, rather than to take anybody's word. And when you're living in situations like that, you have an authenticity to your formative years that people in the suburbs and the cities will never have. This is why I identify with Governor Sarah Palin of Alaska, because I lived in a similar situation. And I often go back to that situation. I go every year. The last time I was home, one of the best things that I did with my family was we sat outside on the porch and identified the sounds of birds calling. That's the kind of stuff we do. And you are living in the now, you are bonding with your family, and you are communing with nature in a way that is honest and true, not hackneyed, and while you're wearing a crystal around your neck and fairy wings and trying to dance with the wolves. It's real and unpretentious, and Ray Bradbury was raised that way as well. And so he went to Los Angeles, and he did not go to college, and he worked in a bastard medium, science fiction, which no one respected at that time. Still don't, really. And he was brazen. I identify with it completely because I was the same way. I came to New York, you know, and I'm brazen. I'll go up to people. I'll just start talking to people. You guys see me on Twitter all the time. I have no fear. I've known famous people. I've socialized with famous people. I have no fear. Because I know that everybody's just another animal, another human being, another one of God's creatures here on planet Earth. And I'm not driven by the kinds of things that these people are driven by. False gods, success, money, fame. I'm not driven by that. I'm driven by a feeling of inner contentment, a desire to do what's right and to feel good about what I'm doing. And a lot of people don't understand that. But as a result, I look at myself in the mirror and I like what I see every day. And that's what Ray Bradbury was about. In his books, he's always talking about going back to something honest and pure. He portrays American small town life, American rural life as idyllic, as utopian almost, but an idyllic life, and it is. Whittaker Chambers said that he wanted his children, when they learned about birth, he wanted them to see a cow give birth. I saw my cat give birth. And that's how I learned where babies came from when I was 3 years old. You have a different view of nature, of reality. When you bond with a wild animal, when you bond with farm animals, I'm not talking about bonding like that. I'm talking about knowing them, seeing their personality, having a character conflict with them, having a horse that doesn't like you. You know, and I think it's wise for people, and I think the conservatives are really on the money, people like Whittaker Chambers and Ray Bradbury, to, especially with children, keep them as far removed from the state as possible. Teach them autonomy. It's amazing how Ray Bradbury didn't participate in technology himself, despite being a science fiction writer. He hated it. One of the reasons why I didn't even get back to Merv, getting back to Merv, this vlog is all over the place already. I saw Merv. I saw Bradbury on Merv. Merv Griffin was also a conservative, you know, good friend of the Reagans. And Ray Bradbury told Merv that he didn't drive. And Merv Griffin couldn't believe it because, you know, this is Los Angeles. And I decided then that I wouldn't drive either, that I didn't like driving. It made me nervous. And I didn't drive. I still don't drive. He didn't fly. I've been able to fly. But you guys know I don't watch television much. I go to the movies, like we used to still. I go to the movie theater. And that's where I see most of my movies. Or else I watch them on a DVD. I don't have regular television. I don't have cable. I've had it before, of course. I just don't need that sound all the time. I don't want those sounds all the time. I don't want those people coming into my house and trying to sell me things or tell me how I should live or what I should eat. What's healthy that week and what's not healthy that week. You know, I am an addict to the computer. But I won't have video games in the house either. Ray Bradbury, I can remember one time, this really made me identify with Ray Bradbury. I can remember one time in the late 70s when all of us who played, there was a group of us children who played. There was a farm across the street, kind of down the ways a bit. And we would play, and we'd climb around in the barn and climb into the rafters and stuff, or go out into the pastures and explore the woods. And there was this moment, and we would have adventures. There was this moment where the TV was on, and everybody just stopped, and they were staring at it. And I was really angry because I wanted to continue having the adventures. And they all wanted to watch whatever was on, you know, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Gilligan's Island. And they were staring at it, and right away I knew that that was competition. Competition in living. I wanted to go out to the old shed, you know, play hide and seek. But everybody suddenly just wanted to watch the screen. And that's where we're at now, where we're going to be getting emails. We're going to be getting, not even emails, that's too archaic. We're going to be getting direct messages telling us what we're going to have for dinner. What would you like for dinner? You know, we'll be sitting at dinner, if we eat it together at all. We probably won't. It'll just be there when you go home. People will type their conversations at dinner. That's where we're headed. And Bradbury could see it. Ray Bradbury could see it. Fahrenheit 451 is about the liberal state, don't let anyone tell you. It's about political correctness. It's about the government censoring alternate views. The left isn't concerned about alternate views at all. The only alternate views they want are rules, are views that will enforce a totalitarian government faster. Extreme leftism is the only view that they want protected. So basically, Ray Bradbury and Whittaker Chambers and myself all agree. Stay away from them as much as possible. Stay true to yourself. And remember what's important. The important thing is listening to the birds. That's the important thing in life. That's what God wants you to do, is to listen to the birds. Small G Gay.